Hello everyone, welcome back to Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham, giving you the update for today, and we knew it was coming. The talks were happening yesterday. Nuno sacked in the morning, Conte linked in the evening, Conte confirmed this morning for Tottenham Hotspur. So welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like and put your comments below on what you think of this new appointment for Spurs, an exciting appointment. For the first time in what is forever, really, we have appointed what I would call an elite manager. So in the Premier League, the only elite managers that we actually have, and by elite, I mean ones that are currently elite: Pep Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel, and Jurgen Klopp. Outside of that, you could have arguments for people like Rafa Benitez, but no longer at what I would call an elite level. You know, he once upon a time was elite, not at the moment. So they're your elite managers, and now I feel like we have one. Pochettino became an elite manager, but he never was one when we got him from Southampton. So there we are, new manager in the door. There has been an official club announcement, so if you've read it already, I do apologise. But if you haven't, I'm just going to read some bits from it, and then I might interlude my opinions in between. So it says, "We are delighted to announce the appointment of Antonio Conte as our head coach on a contract until the summer of 2023 with an option to extend." All right, so the reason, this is my first interjection, by the way. The reason why that is important, so that is a short contract. One, if it doesn't work out, we can cut ties without having to fork out too much money. Number two, Pochettino's contract is due to end around the same time. The option to extend is just in case he's a success at Spurs and wants to stick around at Spurs. You never know. If these work out, there's no reason to go back in for Mauricio Pochettino if we've got a good thing going. But traditionally, Antonio Conte doesn't stick around for a very long time. He fulfills what he sees as the accomplishments in his project and then moves on to pastures new. Right, then it goes on to say, Antonio has won titles in Serie A, including a hat-trick of Scudettos with Juventus, the Premier League, and also managed Italy, leading the Azzurri to the quarterfinals of Euro 2016. So he was born in Lecce. Antonio began his playing career at his hometown team, 18, he ain't that old, 1985 to 1991, before achieving legendary status at Juventus between 91 and 2004. So he was a midfielder. There at Juventus, he won five Scudettos, the UEFA Cup, the Champions League. He earned 20 caps for Italy and was part of the squads that achieved the runners-up status in the '94 World Cup and Euro 2000. His coaching career, he began as an assistant in Siena in 2005, had spells at Arezzo, Bari, where he won Serie B, and Atalanta before returning to Juventus in 2011. He won the title in his first season with those, which was the 2011-2012, completing the campaign unbeaten and equaling a club record 28-match unbeaten run set by Fabio Capello. He completed a hat-trick of titles with success in the 2012-13 and 13-14 seasons when Juve amassed a Serie A record of 102 points. He then took charge of the Italian side in 2014, led them to the quarterfinals of Euro 2016. They topped their group and beat Belgium and Spain along the way. After 2 years there, he returned to club football, and that was at Chelsea. In 2016, he secured the Premier League crown in his first season, which we spoke about previously. One of only 4 managers to do so in their first season in the English game. Then he went on a league record of 30 wins in 38 matches, including a run of 13 straight victories. He added the FA Cup the following season, 2018, before moving back to Italy with Inter in May 2019. And that was where he linked up with the likes of Lukaku, who really wasn't as massive success at Manchester United. And then when he went across to Inter under Conte, new lease of life. But I think a lot of credit there isn't just to go with Conte. It's their fitness team, nutritional team. They found flaws in the way that Lukaku had been training and treating his body and unleashed an absolute beast. Yeah. So also, where were we at? Sorry. So yeah, finishing second in Serie A in the 2019-20 season. He reached the final of the Europa League, guided Inter to their first title in 11 years in 2020-21, ending Juventus' run of 9 successive Scudettos. Antonio has said himself, "I'm extremely happy to return to coaching and to do so at a Premier League club that has the ambition to be a protagonist again." So he obviously has been wooed by the words of Daniel Levy and the ambitions the club have. Look, we know there's ambition, the stadium and all sorts. It's just a question of getting things right in what is financially a hard time. He also said, Tottenham Hotspur has state-of-the-art facilities and one of the best stadiums in the world. Why, thank you very much. We know we do. It's an absolute beauty. I can't wait to start working to convey to the team and the fans the passion, mentality and determination that have always distinguished me as a player and as a coach. And this is one of the things that I myself am most excited about. The passion this guy shows just on the side of the pitch is incredible. I can only imagine what he's like in training, one-on-one situation with players. He's very demanding. If you're lazy, you will not be playing. So there's plenty of these players that have been poor this season that need to buck their ideas up. No more arriving late to training, Mr. Tanguy Ndombele, and parking in the chief executive spot. Tut, tut, tut. He also said, last summer our union did not happen because the end of my relationship with Inter was still too recent and emotionally too involved with the end of the season. So I felt that it wasn't yet the right time to return to coaching. I mean, we've heard a lot of stories about the breakdown as to why he didn't actually sign as Tottenham manager in the end. Something about couldn't bring all the coaching staff to the club that he wanted to because of financial constraints. Wasn't impressed with the quality of players that we had coming through the ranks. Wasn't impressed with the current playing squad. There was a lot of work to do, and a lot of that led to that. But he's now saying himself that it was to do with the fact that it was too soon since leaving Inter Milan. However, he then went on to say, but the contagious enthusiasm and determination of Daniel Levy in wanting to entrust me with the task had already hit the mark. Now that the opportunity has returned, I have chosen to take it with great conviction. You know, I mean, that's great. The fact that he was impressed by Daniel Levy coming back in for him, obviously was one of our first targets anyway. And then it didn't happen for whatever reason. Paratici then comes in and we end up with Nuno. No disrespect to him, but a very underwhelming appointment considering some of the people that we're linked with. As you know, I like Graham Potter, Eric Ten Hag. You know, we were linked with some great managers and ended up with someone. Look, I don't think he's a bad manager. I just don't think Tottenham was the right fit for him. His style of football, the way he is, his personality didn't fit with the fans, fit with the players. It is what it is. So, commenting on the appointment, Managing Director of Football Fabio Paratici said, "We are delighted to welcome Antonio to the club. His track record speaks for itself, with vast experience and trophies in both Italy and England. I know firsthand the qualities Antonio can bring to us, having worked with him at Juventus, and look forward to seeing his work with our talented group of players. Further news on Antonio's coaching staff will follow in due course." And I think this is probably a big drawing point for Antonio Conte, the fact that Paratici's here, they work together at their time at Juventus. Now, traditionally, managers in the ilk of Antonio Conte like to have a lot more freedom and managerial purpose within a club. And I think this is something Pochettino got frustrated with at Tottenham in the end. There wasn't enough control for him. And he essentially became a glorified coach. Now, Antonio Conte, as I understand, will not be happy with that. He will not want to be just a glorified coach. He will want to have a lot of input. But the fact that he's already had a working relationship with Fabio Paratici, I think will help. They know each other very well. They know how each other operate. So a director of football, I don't think is going to affect him too much because it's someone he knows. And I think because of that, they will have each other's backs and there will be a lot more of a relationship about it. We've seen Paratici is fairly vocal, doesn't mind getting in front of the camera, which is great because Daniel Levy is not a fan of the camera. He much prefers to just do a statement, which we don't like as fans. We want some personality in our club. We want the involvement. We want to know what's going on firsthand. I don't want some jargon that's just been written by Daniel and his team. I want to see somebody in front of the camera telling us what's going on. We need information. We deserve information. Paratici kind of gives us a bit of that. I'm sure there's a lot that he's not allowed to say, though. But, you know, this relationship could work. Daniel Levy is an ambitious man, and I do believe he has Spurs' best interest at heart, but sometimes fails to execute it in the appropriate way. Like, I have no doubt that he's a Tottenham fan through and through. Like, you can see his passion when things are going well at the side of the pitch. You can see how disillusioned he can become when things aren't going well at the side of the pitch, to the point where in the game, which ended up being Nuno's last game in charge against Manchester United, Paratici actually left the stands when the third goal went in, and he did not return. He did not look happy. So I think they knew straight away, I need to get on the phone. We need to make this Antonio Conte deal happen. We need a manager in. They were probably sitting there during the game and go, this isn't for us. This is not what we expected from Tottenham Hotspur, from Nuno, from the players. He needs to go. That decision was probably made the second that third goal went in, and Paratici probably went off for a little strop, because ultimately it was his appointment, but then was probably straight on the phone. We saw him in the summer during pre-season. He was at the matches, but he was on his phone the whole time talking to people, probably agents, friends, anyone that he could get hold of players from, speaking to coaches and things. So look, it's all done now. Hopefully the future is bright for Tottenham, but I will say the only way this appointment is going to work is if we back the manager. It can't be another Jose Mourinho situation where we bring in an elite manager and don't give them what they want. All Mourinho wanted when he came in was centre-backs, 2 centre-backs. That's all he really wanted. The rest of the squad was there to build from. The forward line, Sonny and Kane, incredible together. Incredible they were. Eric Lamela, Lucas Moura probably had some of their best seasons for Spurs under him. They both fought hard throughout the season. A few players regressed a little bit. Dele Alli. But Tanguy, he got, I wouldn't say the best out of Tanguy, but he got the best we've seen out of Tanguy so far. But that defence, it proved to be shaky. He ended up chopping and changing too much, and I think that was part of the problem. But I'm hoping Antonio Conte, with his work ethic, he's massive on work ethic. He will not stand for these lazy players. He will demand so much more in levels of fitness. I think this appointment could be somewhere between Pochettino and Jose Mourinho. And this is why I think it'll work. Pochettino worked to a certain extent, but we saw it started to fade in the end. He was hot on fitness, hot on the high press. Jose Mourinho was very much outspoken, would say what he thinks, wouldn't take any crap, but ultimately wasn't so hot on the fitness. He believed the players should do that on their own, in their own time. The only person we know he really worked on fitness with was Tanguy, and that was during lockdown in the one-on-one situations where Tottenham were heavily criticised for that. And I believe Moussa Sissoko was the other player involved in that. Mainly, I would say, as a friend and a translator for Tanguy Ndombele. So I think Conte is kind of the blessing in disguise for us, and hopefully it works out, because it should. There is no reasons it shouldn't work. He's got a high calibre. He demands. He's got a great work ethic. He won't take any crap. He's got a good blend of everything we need in managers. I will say that he has got an element of pragmatism about him as a manager. So he's not this all-out attacking coach that we're looking for. But I do think at the moment, probably the all-out attacking coach is not what we need. I do think we still need to have a strong foundation in defence, but in the right way. And I think Nuno was maybe a bit too heavy on that at times, and just expected the creative players to do their thing. Whereas I believe Antonio has been around long enough now as a successful coach to know what players he can get what out of. I feel like he will have a clear idea and philosophy of how football should be played. He's played in some great teams himself. He's managed some great teams. He's got a wealth of experience. It'll be exciting to know who he brings in with him into the coaching team. So there's lots to look forward to at the moment. It's not going to guarantee a success. It will certainly be a project. Again, we know that's the state we're in, but I feel like because of the calibre of manager coming in, I feel like there will be some players that will push themselves beyond where they were with Nuno, because there's a bit more respect automatically there, because you know what they've achieved in the game, not just as a player, but in management as well. And the fact that he's been an international coach on top of that will demand a little bit more respect. So that's it so far for today. That's your update. We have a new manager in. Thank God it was not another managerial circus that we had before. We had one target, we went after that target, he is in the door. So there you have it for today. Antonio Conte, officially Tottenham Hotspur manager. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think we should have gone someone else? Do you think it'll be a success? Let me know below. Let's get the discussion going. Don't forget to subscribe and like as well. Take care, and until tomorrow, maybe even tonight if anything else comes out, come on you Spurs.